What's going on, guys? Today we're diving into another deep topic, which is how do family dynamics stimulate the development of compulsive behavior? If you're struggling to cut ties with unhealthy habits like porn addiction and you're feeling stuck in these cycles, this video will provide some clarity on how you even got to that point. Let's get real about where these patterns actually come from. Here's something most people fail to realize. Your first coping mechanisms weren't chosen, they were taught. Think back to your childhood home. How did the adults around you handle stress, loneliness, disappointment, or other conflict? Little did they know, you were learning, even when no one was actively teaching. That's why willpower alone isn't enough to change these patterns. You're fighting against years of unconscious programming. Moment of transparency. When I was in elementary school, one of my caretakers was the father of my aunt's children. He lived with us and would often watch my brother and I after school until our parents came home from work. I don't think they were aware of the fact that this man had a porn addiction, and he would joyfully watch pornography with his door cracked. Now, I don't know if he knew that we could catch glimpses of these erotic scenes, but it seemed like he didn't even care. Fast forward to the present day, I can see how pornography was ingrained into my subconscious mind from an early age, and that's just one instance and one person among others. Let's move on. Let's talk about the emotional atmosphere you grew up in. In many households, especially for us men, certain emotions were off limits. Crying meant weakness, your anger was met with a lashing, and vulnerability was just foreign completely. For me, I grew up in the Bronx with Jamaican parents. If your family has a Caribbean background like mine, then you know there wasn't much room to express yourself. The moment you did that, it was seen as disrespect. This creates what's called the emotional pressure cooker. When you're taught that certain feelings aren't acceptable, you don't learn to process them. Instead, you learn to sweep them under the rug and escape them. Many of us were given roles early on: the achiever, the problem child, the peacemaker, or the invisible one. These roles shaped how we learned to get love and approval. If you were the achiever, maybe you learned that performance equals love. And if you were the problem child, maybe you learned that attention, even negative, was better than being ignored. This is crucial to understand. Many compulsive behaviors are really just attempts to either fulfill or rebel against these old roles and narratives. Here's where it gets interesting. In homes where boundaries were either too rigid or non-existent, we develop unhealthy relationships with control. Some of us try to control everything, others feel completely powerless. Compulsive behaviors often show up as an attempt to either gain control when we feel powerless or escape when we feel overwhelmed. So how do we break free? It starts with awareness. You have to recognize your patterns, understand their origins, develop new responses, and build healthy support systems. Remember, understanding your past isn't about blame, it's about recognition and response. You can't change what happened, but you can change how you handle it now. This is the second installment of this ongoing conversation about lust and legacy this month. I hope you learned something, and I hope I was able to show you that you're not alone. Drop a comment below sharing one family pattern you're working to break. And if you resonated with this video, hit that subscribe button and join our community of men committed to real growth. Remember, your past shaped you, but it doesn't have to define you. Stay strong, and I'll catch you in the next video.